This is the last call for fantasy football. Actually, it's not. It's not the last call for
Yes, it
fantasy
is.
football. It is last call fantasy football. But welcome to the show. October 2nd, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I know. I keep saying
Well,
that. So I
okay.
figured it out.
You got to say it now. It sounds cool. It sounds professional.
Well, I say it at the end of the show, and I say, "Don't miss the last call for fantasy football," because
Yeah.
that's like the slogan, like the phrase. Because this is like the last call for fantasy football, but as the show, it's just last call fantasy football. Because last call for fantasy football is like a sentence. Last call fantasy football is like a title,
Yeah.
right? That makes sense.
It's a name.
Yeah, like that's a name. But last call
Mhm.
for fantasy football, or should I keep it both? I'm gonna figure. I'm gonna just say it and then see whatever sounds better, whatever feels right.
Yeah. Just figure it out. Sounds
Whatever.
like you have some personal issues going on.
These don't need to be brought up on the show, Justin. I'm going through them on my own.
Sounds like you're fighting some demons right now. Let's crack them.
First of all, I'm fighting with this.
Wait,
Oh,
isn't
no.
that a Corona?
You need some shit. You need some shit.
I was so confused in the first place when you started to open that.
Damn it.
All right, I'm drinking a. I just wanted to share this. They're pretty good. I got it from Trader Joe's. You should try it.
What is that?
It's like a pumpkin cider.
Oh, the gourd tree. Ugh, pumpkin beer. Ugh,
Dude, it's pretty
sick
good.
of pumpkin beer. Hold on.
I mean, you can only have
You
like.
talk about your white girl beer while I go grab my bottle opener for this.
Listen, it's like a dessert beer. Like I don't plan to drink many more beers today, so this is like my little sweet treat because I'm an alcoholic. Oh my god, he just sat on his dildo.
I did it again. I just shoved
Dude,
this
I
headset
told
up my
you,
ass.
you gotta keep that in the drawer in the bedroom.
Hey man, that's part of my personal issues that we're not going to be discussing on this show. Oh my god, we're off to a great start. Here's cheers to the demons. Anyways, switch it up.
Cheers,
Got a Corona
governor.
today, and he's got a pumpkin beer. So
Mexican and white bitch.
sounds about right. The classic Lake County, Florida combo. Anyways, we have a fantasy football show to do. So,
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
as much as we would love to just sit here and chat as we normally do before and after this show, got some things to cover. Week 5.
Thanks.
It is week 5 in the NFL.
Dude, we're already so far in. It's like I'm scared. I'm honestly scared. I looked at the, like the fantasy football, and I saw week 5, and I was like, no.
When I
Please,
was
God,
typing in
no.
our notes, when I typed it out, Wednesday show week 5, I'm like, week 5? We're already week 5? I know it's
Also, that
flying by.
means we are 15 shows in this season.
Well,
Well, after this week.
14 shows. We had a casualty on Thursday last week, but yeah.
Right.
But yeah, we're chugging along. We're doing great. So it's week 5. We have a football game on Thursday tomorrow. These days go by quick when there's no games on. It just seems like boom, we're already here. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, did you see? Sorry, just on that note.
Okay.
There's going to be football every single day
yes, for the
until
next
November
55 days straight.
27th.
It's 55
like
days
that.
straight.
Yeah,
Which,
which I'm confused about
but
because
see,
what is there college football on?
yeah, there's got to be
Tuesday?
some like D3, like
Yeah, that's what I
Youngstown
was thinking.
State playing Alabama A&M on Tuesday night at 6:30. Like there has to be. So
Like their games we're not watching. South Dakota.
right, if
University
you're a
or whatever.
sicko and actually watch all 55, one, congrats on being single. Two,
Yeah,
you probably have a mental disorder and you should probably see a
yeah.
therapist.
You should see if any of those cats are dead.
You mean the ones that they live with by themselves?
Yeah.
All 35
Well,
of them?
he's got 20 cats for sure.
Yeah. I will not be watching that, but I do enjoy me some weekly ball. So let's get into the Thursday night matchup. Bucks at Falcons. Bucks are 3-1. Falcons are 2-2. Although I checked on our Hard Rock Bet app, the Falcons are favored by 2 points to win.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I mean,
The
it's not
Falcons' defense
shocking,
has
but
been great.
yeah,
They're up there with top defenses. I'm just like thinking back, and it's like
I'd say like they're top 75. Like I wouldn't put them in the top quarter, and I wouldn't put them right at middle of the pack. I'd say like they're slightly above that.
let's say they're top 10 right now. But I don't know.
Eh,
We might have to do some more digging into that. But I feel like half the issue with their offensive production is that they haven't really been down because their defense hasn't let them get down.
Let's see. Atlanta as a defense. Give me your initial thoughts on the game while I pull that up.
Yeah. I think, I hope it's a good fantasy game, but I feel like you hear Bucks Falcons and you just know it's going to be a slush fest. It's probably not going to be a good game, and my prediction on the game that we'll get to later is going to forecast that. I think that Bijan, London, I think their starts obviously Evans, Godwin. If you need to start Mayfield, I think he's a decent start. But honestly, I wouldn't even start Rashad White unless you have to, which you probably do.
Of course you do.
And I would not start Pitts or Mooney either.
Yeah, you just broke down every single player in about 30 seconds that's going to be playing in that game. I mean, damn.
I'm efficient.
Well, I looked at the Falcons, so I guess I was somewhat right. For fantasy purposes, they're the 15th. They're the defense number 15. They were not good for fantasy purposes, only because they've only had 3 sacks through 4 games and 2 turnovers. Granted, this past week they had 2 defensive touchdowns. One was that fumble in the end zone, and the other one was a pick six. So that boosted their fantasy score. But as far as
3 sacks is crazy.
through 4 games, that's
Dude,
not good.
that's nuts. I feel like
Denver had
most
5
teams are
games,
averaging
5 sacks
3 a game.
Denver had 5 sacks last week against the
I'm pretty
Jets.
sure Leatu Latu had like 3 last game.
Yeah. While we're on the fantasy defense topic, let me just run through because we don't really talk about this much.
Yeah, I just
The-
picked up Chicago because I realized that they had a pretty good stretch.
Yeah,
So
the
I picked
number
them up
1
last week.
defense is the Vikings. They have 17 sacks through 4 games. Then the Packers with 13, Denver with 16. Does anyone have more? No, they don't. So the Vikings have the most sacks. So put into context, the Falcons have 3 sacks when there's teams out there with 13, 17, 16, 10, 14, 11. Like, all to circle back, I think the Falcons defense doesn't scare me too much for like the Bucks options, especially as far as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin go. I think you're going to start them just about every single week.
Yeah, I think Chris Godwin, like, you're gonna start him, but like, I wouldn't feel great about it this week. Like, I wouldn't be excited to start him, but like, you probably have to.
I'm excited about Chris Godwin just in general. I mean,
Yeah, I would love
he's-
to have him on my team.
He's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's the wide receiver 8 so far this year. I mean, so he's in my lineup no matter what. Personally, if you've got him, you probably don't have.
Yeah,
any
that's
other
what I'm
options.
saying. It's like you have to start him just because of how good he's been, but I think it could be a down game for him.
I'm hoping and praying to the Thursday night fantasy football gods that we actually get a decent game. I think Amazon's cursed. I think Prime Video is cursed ever since we started having to log
We've had
in.
some decent games this year.
I don't know, bro.
If I remember correctly, week 1 was pretty good, and then we had
week 1 was on Peacock, and it was the Chiefs Ravens. So that I don't count that one. That was the NFL kickoff. That's supposed to be a good matchup. That doesn't count as the week.
Then we
first.
had Jets Patriots, which was a good game.
Oh, that was fantastic. We loved seeing the Jets win 21-3. That was not a
Okay,
good game.
whatever.
That was
It
terrible.
wasn't the worst.
It
And
was
then
terrible.
the week after that was good.
That was just this past
What
week.
was last week?
Uh,
Wasn't it Bill? No, it wasn't Bills. No, there was. It was Giants. Man, now I'm
no, it
blanking.
wasn't the Giants. Here, so to start the year, week 2 was Dolphins Bills, the
Okay.
destruction, the 31-10 poop fest that Tua said rep the set, and
That was, yeah, that wasn't
week
a good game.
week 3 was 24-3, the Jets over the Patriots, and then last week, well, we had the Giants and Cowboys, but
Yeah, that was a good game.
no, that was tweet tweet
Oh yeah.
flag. That game sucked. We just enjoyed watching Malik Neighbors get 97 targets. Other than that, that game sucked. So we're 0 for 3 in my opinion,
Yeah.
um, for Thursday Night
I
Football.
think we're gonna be over 4.
You think we're gonna be over 4?
Yeah.
I don't know. Divisional game, things can get weird at the Falcons. Both like teams on an upward trajectory.
Here, I'll tell you what I think,
What's gonna
and
happen?
then I'll tell
Yeah,
you
then we'll
my
we'll get
game
into our
prediction and
score
score.
predictions and we'll move on.
Okay, I'll end with my score prediction. Then you can.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think Bijan probably has the best game he's had so far, partly because he just hasn't really played very well in general. Well, he's played well other than one game, but he hasn't gotten the end zone. I think he gets in the end zone, and I think he has kind of a pretty good game. I'm not going to make any bets on it, but I think he has a phenomenal game. The Bucks aren't as good as they used to be on defense. I think Cousins is
Vita
just going to
Vea
get
has
more
been
and
out
more and more.
and he's coming back. So that
Yeah, he's so old, dude.
no,
Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, I think he's yeah. I still don't even with Vita
he's just a
Vea,
great run stopper. That's all.
their linebackers are what made their run game so insane in the past, and they're not there anymore. So, um, I think Cousins is going to get even more comfortable. Uh, like I said, I don't even know who their cornerbacks are on the Bucks. So I think he has a decent game, but like I said, I think it's gonna be a slush fest. So we'll see. I think it's gonna be more Bijan. And then I think Baker Mayfield finally struggles.
Well, he struggled big time against Denver. He already had a
Yeah,
shit game so far this year.
yeah. I don't think he does very well this game. Like I
Well,
said, I
since
think the
I didn't
Falcons
get
have a
him on
good defense.
waivers, I'm hoping that that's the case because
Yeah,
yeah, all right, I'll finish it out. So what's your score prediction for the game then?
I think it's gonna be 13-24 Falcons.
All right. And you said what did you say? 13-24?
Yep.
13-24 Falcons. I think we might actually get a high scoring game for once. I'm calling it. So Kyle says that there's going to be a lot of fantasy opportunity. I'm
You're such
speaking
an
it into it.
optimist.
I am an optimist. Well, I'm just saying both of these teams have like above average, like good offenses and like middling defenses. Tampa gets gashed by the run. The Falcons, like we just talked about, they haven't their scoring defense, like they haven't given up a ton of points, but on a yards basis, they're not anything special. I think that trend changes. So I say that, and this is gonna be the first time we think different winners. I think the Bucks win 31-27.
Okay,
31.
that would be an exciting game.
Yeah.
I honestly do hope you're right.
I mean, I hope I'm right too. I mean, yeah. I have no qualms with this game. I'm not playing anyone uh, on the Bucks or the Falcons this week.
I have
So
Bijan, but that's it.
this will be just a nice, fun, relaxing. Maybe even throw a little $5 parlay on there as I like to do. Got to get my first win of the season because I get too overzealous with these damn things. So, all right. There was one more thing. Oh yes, this is the first week of bye weeks. The
Yep.
teams that are on bye are the Chargers, Lions, Eagles, And there's one more. I had them written down on my phone, but I forgot to put it in the doc. Who else is on bye? Chargers, Eagles, Lions.
Bears, oh my.
It's not the Bears. I wish it was because that would be great.
It's not.
But anyway, so this is the first week that you, even if you didn't get hit by the injury bug, you have to make some decisions. Like you're gonna have to make some decisions on your team. So I'm excited to see how that shakes up the league. Like honestly, if you've been at the top like myself,
Yeah. I think this is where the teams that started off poorly can start to make their runs and try to get back into
the Titans.
Even or a winning record.
Yeah, like this is the.
That's why you never count yourself out because stuff happens.
It ain't over.
Every week is a new week. It doesn't matter how trash your team is. You could play Kyle this week and he has everybody injured and doesn't have his quarterback because he's on bye, and then you could get a win. Although Kyle's playing the worst team in the league, so he's probably gonna still win.
Yeah, suck it, Christina. I know it, and her team has gone through it too. But yeah, you ain't out of it for sure. So, I just wanted to preface that. So it's the Titans, Chargers, Lions, Eagles.
What's the fourth? Wait.
Yeah,
Wait,
I didn't
what?
say that. I didn't say the Titans. It's the Titans, Chargers, Lions, Eagles. They are all
thank
on
God.
bye
You don't
today.
have to watch the Titans this week.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. And maybe after the bye, we can get A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith back. That would be glorious for the Eagles. For all Eagles fans everywhere.
I bet the Titans wish they could get him back.
Damn. That's not true, though. Hey, how's Traylon Burks, Titans? Shitheads.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
I think they cut him.
All right. It's time for some tough calls. We're making last call for tough calls. Because this week, like I said, we got bye weeks. We got injuries. We got things in the mix that are going to make people cry.
My tough calls are nasty. But it's nasty this week.
I think I went like middle of the pack this week with the tough calls. Not like I was trying to, put some bold predictions in there, but I'll just kick it off with the first one because it's two players we've already talked about. Justin Fields versus Dallas, in my situation, or Baker Mayfield versus Atlanta.
That's so funny.
Two of the players that were on our waiver wire. And like we mentioned, I've got Jalen Hurts, my only QB, on bye this week. I needed one. I didn't win the bid for Baker Mayfield. I put the bid on him. It was only 3. And
I bid 15 and I lost.
Yeah, he went for 20. Right? 20? Yeah, he went for 20 in our league.
21 maybe. Yeah.
Which just shows, and he went to the Patrick Mahomes manager, so that tells you how they're shaking out, the guys that have Mahomes, willing to drop 20% of their fab on
Who already
Baker
wasn't good
Mayfield.
before he lost Rashee Rice. So.
Exactly. So props to him for like getting his guy when Mahomes doesn't seem like a great option at this point, and it sucks to even have to say that. So I snagged Justin Fields. He went unclaimed, and I got him for free because I only bet 3 on Baker Mayfield because I knew I would have other options. I wasn't willing to bet the house on him. So who would you rather go with? Dallas defense is depleted. Justin Fields has been looking good, but not nearly as good as Baker Mayfield has against a division opponent. Baker in our league, Baker Mayfield is the number 1 fantasy quarterback so far.
I thought it was Jaden Daniels.
Not in our scoring format, but he's close.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't think Baker's going to have a great game, so I would go with Justin Fields, but at the same time, Justin Fields just isn't doing anything special, and the issue is he's not really scoring that many touchdowns either.
Except for last week. Last week was great. He was the number 2 quarterback on the week.
So I watched the game closely because I'm a Colts fan. Something that I saw or noticed that they are probably going to start doing is using Justin Fields on the goal line. It's a cheat code, honestly.
It is.
There were so many times where I was like, "Oh, I think they went for it on 4th down, maybe," and he ran it in. And the Colts were humming on defense against the Steelers, and it seemed like they had him locked down and he just slips right through. I think they're going to continue doing that.
I think that they like it is the perfect team that Justin Fields went to, the Steelers,
Yeah.
like with a great defense where if he's not perfect, he's able to like recover. Like he throws a pick on one drive, the game's not over because they don't have the offensive
Yeah.
ability to get back in the game. And
Yeah.
one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the league to support him. And Russell Wilson ain't putting the
Dude,
fire on
I'm so
taking the
happy
job.
for him, honestly,
Me
because
too.
I think he's a player that needed to go to a team like the Steelers and be developed.
Yeah.
He has all the talent in the world. He just needed the pressure taken off of him to just go out there and
He
dominate
he had
himself.
312 passing yards and a passing touchdown, as well as 55 rush yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So, I mean, that's insane. How many?
Yeah.
He rushed the ball 10 times for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. Where would just those numbers have placed him among quarterbacks this past week or this year, even on a points per game basis? 55 rush yards and 2 touchdowns. Middle of the pack without a single passing yard.
Yeah.
Like he
And I
will
think,
be okay.
wait, what did you say? He had like close to 300 passing yards,
Yeah,
right?
312 and 1 through the air. He did lose
Yeah.
a fumble, but yeah, he was in our league scoring format. He was the QB3 last week behind Jordan Love and Baker Mayfield. Ironically,
Yeah. And that's why I'm so excited that Jaden Daniels is doing well for my team, because I know that it's the same concept, except I think he's actually on a better offense, and he's a better thrower of the ball than Justin Fields.
which is true. And I would take Jaden Daniels if he was on the waiver wire over Justin Fields. but yeah, so it sounds like we're both on the Justin Fields side.
Yep.
All right.
Justin Fields.
But
My
two
tough
top 3
call-
quarterbacks from last week, if you got them both, that's a tough call. So
That's true. You probably didn't get them both, but mine is Drake London versus the Bucks and Chris Godwin versus the Falcons.
Drake London versus the Bucks.
You could
Or-
easily have this because Godwin went pretty late in drafts, and London went high, so you could easily have this decision. Same game. London hasn't been great, but he is a main target in the end zone. He's actually sniped quite a few of Bijan's touchdowns. And Chris Godwin's been really good.
I am very much on the Chris Godwin side because of this. You said Baker's not going to have a good game. You don't
Yeah.
think that Chris Godwin is an auto start. I think Chris Godwin is pretty much at this point an auto start, especially since Drake London and you, if you know me, if you've watched any of these videos, you know the type of players that I want. I want the volume with upside. And
No.
Drake
What?
London,
You're so wishy-washy on that concept, though.
I
Because you're
am
always
not.
like, no, touchdowns.
yeah.
Because, dude, James Cook last year, you're so out on him. You
Well,
traded him to
that's
me.
different.
He had
That's
all the production, but no touchdowns.
that's different. That's running backs.
How's that different? Okay, so it's different between. Okay, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, for
I am with you on
receivers,
that.
I want
It is
someone
different.
who is going to get the looks. There's nothing worse than watching a game and having your guy get 4 targets in a game for 2 catches, and that's like okay, Darnell Mooney or freaking Shakir of last year, someone who's like big play. Shaheed, aside from this past year, Rashid Shaheed was someone who put up bomb touchdowns and numbers last year, but I didn't even want to bother with it because the worst thing that can happen is you're watching a whole game expecting something and it just never comes because they don't get the looks. So I think that Chris Godwin has an extreme rapport with Baker Mayfield, and Drake London he can disappear, and I don't know.
Okay, so I will say I'm looking at his stats right now. Week 1 sucked. It was versus the Steelers. Kirk Cousins did not look comfortable in that game, so I don't think we should count that.
Mm-hmm.
So the second week, 7 targets, 6 receptions for 54 and a touchdown.
Less
The
than
third
10 yards
week-
of reception for Drake London is kind of shitty.
Yeah, no, for sure, and that's going to be their offense. So that's the thing. But targets go up the next week with 9,
Okay.
same amount of catches, 6 catches for 67 yards and a touchdown.
Borderline
And
the
then
same.
last week he has 12 targets, 6 catches for 64 yards. So at least like the baseline is there. Like
Yeah,
he is producing decently well.
which correct. And I'm not saying Drake London's a bad start. Granted,
Yeah.
if you're looking at those Eagles game stats, that was entirely in the last drive that he got all that work and the touchdown, so
Mm,
that boosts the fantasy performance. So,
yeah.
um, both are
Yeah.
startable for sure. I'm not saying that. Like I'm not saying
I'm
Drake
only
London's
gonna
not.
lean London just because I mean that was my prediction.
Yeah, fair. And I'll take what's his name? What did we just say? What the hell is his name? Oh my god, Godwin. I kept wanting to think Cooper in my head. All
I'm
right.
gonna write down who we picked in this week.
Yeah.
We haven't actually been keeping track of the tough calls. So I wanna
Sure. Sure. All right. So I'll do my third one real quick because it involves Drake London as well, but this one's a little
did you
different.
do your second one?
No, but I'm saying on my list,
Oh,
like I was
okay.
gonna go, but this one involves Drake London. So, Deontay Johnson versus Chicago or Drake London against Tampa. Deontay Johnson been on fire with Andy
Yeah.
Dalton. Chicago has a much better defense,
Yes. Chicago's defense is pretty good.
but he's been on fire. Deontay Johnson is everything to this team, and he's been great running routes all over the field. He's been good. Do you?
That's tough because I think Deontay Johnson's targets will be more valuable, but I don't think Andy Dalton's gonna have a good game. So it's hard to pick Deontay Johnson when you think
Which is true.
that could
And the
be
reason I say this
that
is
that is a nasty
Joe
game
has
to
this
watch.
decision.
I would not be watching that game.
Joe in our league has this decision. He
Oh no.
has Deontay Johnson on his bench currently with Drake London starting. But if he would have benched, and he's had Deontay benched the past 2 weeks for Drake London, is it fool me twice, shame on me
Yeah.
situation? I don't know. So
I mean, if I was in his spot, I mean, I'm in a similar spot with Garrett Wilson. I wouldn't bench Garrett Wilson for Terry McLaurin just because Terry McLaurin's had 2 good weeks either. So
oof.
I feel like this early in the year, you still have to stick with your
Yeah, and I'm
top
willing
guy.
to be wrong with Drake London over Deontay Johnson
Yeah.
this week, especially against the Bears. So I lean Drake London. But I mean, do you go with the proven production or is it just hopeful upside? So maybe it's the wrong decision. We'll see. So I will. I'm gonna highlight this one so we can go back because we both say Drake London on this one, right?
Yep.
All right. Um. So go ahead. Go with your second.
All right. I've got Terry McLaurin versus the Browns or Kareem Hunt versus the Saints. So
You
back-to-back
sob.
weeks,
But you're
back-to-back weeks, I'm picking a matchup for my team.
yeah,
Makes
but
it more personal.
you're picking a wide receiver versus a running back.
Yes, but they are players that will probably have similar production even if they do well or bad.
It's just hard to do like tough calls between that. I guess if, yeah, I guess I'll allow it only because those are like possible flex
Yeah, yeah.
decisions.
Well, yeah, this is a flex decision in my league. In anybody's league, that's gonna be a flex decision probably, unless they had a nasty bye week or something.
Who the Chiefs play again? You said.
The Chiefs play the Saints.
Ooh, yeah, that's a Terry McLaurin for me.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't.
And this
Kareem
is from
Hunt,
a
I think.
notorious Terry McLaurin hater. But
I think, like I said, I think this is the year for Terry McLaurin. So I am in on him. And right now I'm leaning Terry McLaurin. Just because he's hot right now. Jade Daniels is looking better and better each week. I actually saw. Do you follow Kurt Benkert?
I see his stuff. I don't follow him, but I see
Yeah.
his stuff all the time.
Okay. Well, like he obviously does like quarterback analysis. And he showed several plays where Jaden Daniels was learning throughout the game. Like he obviously, I don't even understand what he's saying, but he's like, yeah, he made this mistake, and then later on in the game, he improved on the mistake and made the pass over the like. So, Jaden Daniels seems to be. He not only is athletically gifted at the position, but it seems like mentally he has it as well. So, I'll
Yeah.
take McLaurin.
I just think that there's a greater than 0% chance that Carson Steele gets involved again. He fumbled on his first drive and then got benched. So
See, but Andy Reid isn't that type of coach.
I think so.
I think Kareem Hunt looked better than he probably expected.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's likely that he takes a majority of the work, but
Yeah.
I think it's likely that I think it's about a 40% chance that Carson Steele gets 10 carries still. And if Carson Steele gets 10 carries
Yeah.
against the Saints defense with Kareem Hunt, like I don't know. Like
This
that's
game,
just
I'm not excited for Kareem Hunt. Like I said, I'm probably gonna bench him. Going forward, though, I think Carson Steele is gonna probably get 5 to 6 carries a game. Kareem Hunt's gonna get 15. Samaje is gonna be the third down back. Maybe. I mean, Samaje is the one who probably will get uh
I should have made
X'd
last
out.
week's bet or 2 weeks ago's bet for this past week. P. Ryan even got in the end zone. P.
But,
Ryan, remember I said Carson Steele, P. Ryan will outscore Carson
uh,
Steele after the big waiver wire.
yeah.
I should have done it, but yeah, no. If you needed Kareem Hunt, most likely you're gonna have to start him, and he is a good start if you need a running back. But if you have the
Yeah.
opportunity and the option to flex a Terry McLaurin over him,
Would you
personally,
start
that's what I would do.
Kareem Hunt or Rico Dowdle?
Dallas is playing the Steelers. At that,
Mm. But he's kind of like the third
damn,
down
that's a
back kind of
good
type
one.
though.
That one should be on here. I guess it's a bonus tough call because I don't
Yeah, it's a tough
know.
call because like Kareem Hunt is going to get most of his production by running the ball, whereas Rico Dowdle will get it like dump offs and stuff like that too. So
Yeah, I'm going to barf and say Kareem Hunt over Rico Dowdle.
I would go Kareem Hunt. I think he has more potential to get a touchdown.
And I think, yeah,
I think they'll use Kareem Hunt on the goal line.
I just know the Steelers defense just blows to run the ball against. Like that has been codified into law.
Yeah,
That
not for Jonathan
sucks.
Taylor, but
Which is true. But Kareem Hunt and Rico Dowdle ain't Jonathan Taylor. So,
nope.
all right. It's my
What's
last
your last
one. Yeah, we'll get this moving here. Last one: Devon Achane versus New England or Javonte Williams versus Las Vegas. Devon Achane has been doo doo poopy pants.
Uh,
What?
Devon Achane. Dude, I would not. If I had. No. First of all, if you have this decision, you will kill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. You will literally kill yourself if you started Javonte over HN. I would kill myself even if Williams did better than HN.
I'm just
And I
saying,
started
Javonte last week had a better game than even Achane's previous week with the backup quarterback when he was the decent option. He outscored against the Jets defense, and the
I was
Raiders
against
have
the Jets defense too.
well. The reason I say that is New England is tough to run the ball against. They're going to suck. They're going to New England. I will bet the Patriots win this game again, and Denver is playing a depleted and terrible Raiders defense at home after coming off a big win. That's what I'm saying. So this is a difference of disgusting someone who's been terrible versus Achane, who you've been locked and loaded into your lineup, but now have 2 weeks of shown unproduction. He was terrible last week. And Javonte had 77 yards on the ground against a decent Jets defense in a ugly match, 10-9 win. So, do you think that?
And Mostert might be back.
I'm just saying.
But I do think that the Dolphins have to, like, Tyler Huntley is not going to be able to. They know after watching that game, Tyler Huntley's not going to throw the ball, and they're not going to win by throwing the ball. So I think they are, especially when Mostert comes back. I think they're going to shift to a more run-heavy offense. Which
That was another thing. Guess who got a rushing touchdown from the 1 yard line? Tyler Huntley. That wasn't happening with Tua.
yeah,
I'm just saying.
I mean
like,
it was to a.
No,
He probably had a
it
rushing
was a
touchdown, I bet.
designed run for Tyler Huntley at the 1 yard line to get in. They're not doing that with Tua, especially after he's certified crip now. Like
They're not doing it anymore.
I'm, j- I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, there's no way you're picking Javonte right now.
Personally, no, but I would not be shocked. Like you said, I'm after what we've seen from Javonte the first 3 weeks, aside from last week, I would never forgive myself if Achane busted a big one and scored a long touchdown
Yeah.
against the Patriots.
Well,
But I
yeah.
would
So
not be
that's the
shocked if
thing.
Javonte outscores. I'm
That's the
saying,
thing is Achan can get you 30 points just off like 2 runs. He's just that explosive.
yeah,
That his ceiling is insane. We already saw he had 50 points last season. Javonte's upside, I don't know if he's ever scored 20 fantasy points.
yes,
Ever.
yes, he was great his rookie year. He was great his rookie year.
Okay. His rookie year that he started for like 3 or 4 games.
He was the starter week 1, but
No, it was with Melvin Gordon. It was Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams, and then he took over Melvin Gordon like
Well,
halfway through the season.
okay, fine. But yes, he had good games. But
I'm just
point
saying.
being is it wouldn't shock me if Javonte
Since the
outscores.
injury, he's not had more than 20 points.
Probably not. So I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me. I'm be curious to go.
Which way are you leaning?
I'm willing to be wrong with Achan, but I'm saying I think that the people that have Achan, they say 2 shit weeks in a row, and if they're
Yeah.
looking for an option, maybe they have Javonte on their bench, and they're like, it's a terrible. I mean, the Raiders get gashed on the run, or on the ground in the run game, and that's a way better matchup in a way better situation. But the talent and draft capital and all that.
I don't think either of them have a good week, but I would definitely be looking to trade for Achan if people are discouraged by him.
It's a good idea. Shh. Don't tell them. Don't tell Joe.
I didn't send you the trade, but I did ask you about a trade. What do you think about that?
Wait, what trade?
Jaden Reed for Mixon and Brian Thomas Jr.
Wait, you would take Brian Thomas and Mixon for Jaden Reed?
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
a wide receiver 1.
Yeah. I don't care. I don't think that's sustainable. Not for a top back and a promising rookie receiver
A rookie receiver on a terrible team
who's currently
who's
the
done
wide
okay
receiver
because
15.
he's gotten touchdowns. They're all touchdowns.
Those are
he
my
is.
guys. Oh, at 90 plus yards and 80 plus yards in back-to-back weeks, that's all
You
touchdowns.
just said production was your guy on wide receiver, so
Yeah, he's been great.
I'm just saying that I think that's
He had
it's
9
not
targets.
a bad grade. I'll tell you that.
I don't think Jaden Reed has the wide receiver 1 potential going forward.
You don't think he can be top 12 or top 12 receiver?
Yeah, I
this
think
year?
he can. But
That's
I
wide
think
receiver 1. You're talking about wide receiver 1 overall.
yeah. He
Well-
is the current wide receiver 1.
If he could be a wide receiver 1, you don't think that that's a good trade?
No, because I think Brian Thomas is close enough to that. He's currently the wide receiver 15, and what's his
Okay.
name? And Joe Mixon is when he's playing, maybe not from season end because he's already missed 3 games, but Joe Mixon could be a points per game top 8 back.
Yeah, I guess it's just because you're super bullish on Brian Thomas, which makes sense because you drafted him and he's been on your team. Which I'm not as bullish. I don't think he's going to be that good this season.
It's just a running back market right now too, though. Like running backs are hard to
Yeah,
come
and he
by.
might not even start this week. I'm just saying, you're depleted at wide receiver, and I just offered you the number 1 wide receiver.
I'd have 2 injured wide receivers, but I also have Amari Cooper on my bench, Jackson Smith and Jigba on my bench, and
They've both had 1 game this season that's been startable.
I'm still believers, and it's worked out for me so far, Mr. 2-2. Thank you.
Man.
Anyways, but no, personally, I mean, would it be impossible with someone who has 2 out receivers like Cooper Kupp and Rashee Rice to take that trade? No, I don't think that's impossible. But personally, I'm going to ride it out. If it ain't broke, don't fix
But
it.
you also didn't like Jaden Reed.
No, I think
begin with.
Jaden Reed's going to be great the rest of the year. I just don't think that the difference in value is worth, especially losing 2 players, 2 startable players versus 1.
Yeah, I guess it would be honestly even different if you didn't have to start Brian Thomas anyways.
Right. Like I am
And
starting
you'd
him
probably
this week.
actually think about that. because then it would be, essentially for you, then it would just be Mixon for Reed
Yeah,
with a
and
little side
obviously that would
pieces.
be much more
Yeah.
enticing. So, all right, let's get this thing rolling. Do you have one more, or do you want to move on?
Yeah, I do. It's a nasty one.
All right, let's run through it real quick.
I got Singletary versus the Seahawks or DeAndre Swift versus Carolina.
Singletary, Seahawks. That's an easy DeAndre Swift.
And this is one that I pulled from our league as well.
Unfortunately,
Really?
one,
I would take
Devin Singletary
Singletary.
has a groin injury and may not even play. And two,
I didn't see
the
an injury
Seahawks
explanation.
have been fantastic against the run so far. I know the Lions destroyed them on the run, but other than that, they've been stout. And I don't think. And I don't think Malik Neighbors plays in this game this weekend after his concussion.
You definitely won't.
So I have 0.0% hope in the Giants offense. So if you're getting
Swift is just so
12,
gross.
12 for 53 from Devin Singletary, it's whatever. And Carolina has the worst rush defense in the league. So I'll take the chance. Swift, I said he's unstartable last week until proven otherwise. He had a good game. I don't think either of them I'm super excited, but I'm almost 100% out on Singletary this week, especially with no Neighbors.
All right, I say we make this our bet this week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'd take Singletary all day.
All right, I'm down for that. How many times am I going to to lose a bet betting on DeAndre Swift?
Is that the last bet you lost to?
Yeah, because I said he was gonna have 65 yards on the ground 2 weeks ago against the Colts, and he had freaking what, 18 attempts for 12 yards or something disgusting. All right,
Yeah, like 1.8 points.
all right. Well, all right. I've got that denoted. But yeah, let's get into our bet the house. We're betting the house today, as we do every week. Every Wednesday, we have been betting the house. Sometimes we are homeless, and sometimes we have a new mortgage on our hands because we racking up these houses. All right.
Well, last week I bought a mansion.
You did buy a mansion. I was net neutral. I just added to the portfolio.
Yeah.
I wasn't ranking in the cash, but I got some some history, and I'm able to get a extra 100K on my loans now because I'm showing to have some promise here. So we net neutral. So I'll come over. And we can throw.
I'll see what the lines are, but I might actually place a few of my bets this week.
I didn't have too many. Well, I had one. 1 out of 3 is like a hard number, like something I could bet on. So I think I actually will do that.
Okay.
All right.
I'll
Anyways,
make mine
I'll
parlay.
let you do your first one.
All right. I have, again, Josh Jacobs hater over here. I have Josh Jacobs struggles continue less than 65 rushing yards versus the Rams.
I mean, I
I
disagree.
think that this team doesn't need him.
I think that he had 51 rushing yards against the Vikings last week, and if he can't muster up 14 extra yards against a much worse Rams defense, then that's like embarrassing.
He's only had more than 51 rushing yards one time this season so far, and it was against the Colts.
Yeah, which is true.
And so he's only had one game so far that's like outside of scoring a touchdown. He's only had one game that he's even done well as a running back.
No, I don't think he's even scored a touchdown in the year so far.
I think he scored against the
No,
Colts,
he didn't.
didn't he?
Nope. No, he just had 151. He lost a fumble.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't gotten into the end zone yet. So I just think that if he got close to that number against the best defense in football right now with the Vikings, I think he can get to 65.
I just think the way that dice up the Vikings is through the air and not the ground. Or wait, sorry.
To the ground, not the
The
air.
Rams. The Rams, that's what I meant.
The Rams. Which
The Rams have solid linebackers, so they're good at stopping the run, and their cornerbacks are nasty.
fair.
But we'll see.
I'd be willing to bet you on that one.
Send it.
All right, bet. We do need to come up with
Yeah, we got to come up with the punishment
I
that
know.
isn't chugging 2 beers a show.
I know. All right. Well, cool. That works for me. We're already
It is
chugging along.
Halloween. If anybody is watching this show to this point and you want to leave in the comments, we could both go pick up something from Spirit Halloween and have to wear it if the bet's wrong.
That'd be kind of fun. We'd have to figure out something unique though. Like I don't want to just like wear a spooky mask. Like we could oh, they have like
No, it
that
has to be
sexy
something
section.
humiliating. That's what I'm talking about. It has to
Okay.
be like something
All
humiliating for
right.
sure.
We'll figure it out. But I think that's a
Maybe
good
like
one.
I'll wear like a brassiere with my chest hair hanging out.
Yes, please.
Dude, that would actually be hilarious. That's funny.
Oh my god. Oh, should we just do that right
I have
now?
so much chest hair. That's hilarious. Oh, what's up? No, I'm just kidding. You got brassiere?
Oh man. All right. Let's keep this thing going. My first bet the house. Debo Samuel will have his best fantasy performance this season so far. With a bonus, I'm not going to include this in. I think he scores a rushing touchdown.
Who are they
I
playing?
the Niners are playing the Patriots. So I think they're just going to run the ball. And no, sorry, they played the Patriots last week.
I was about to say, because didn't you?
No, it's Arizona. It's Arizona who has been getting just dominated by running backs. So I'm going to say that they run the ball. They're going to run Jordan Mason to the ground, and they're going to mix in. They're going to get by the goal line. They're going to give Debo a little whoop whoop, and he's going to score, have his best performance of the season so far. Which, to be fair,
Yeah, which that would be kind of hard to do. Actually, I think he's actually pretty good. And I think I feel like he's had a week over 20 points, right?
no, Debo Samuel finished his highest was week 1 with 13, and that was the only week he scored a
Oh, okay.
touchdown.
I feel like he's been good, but
Yeah, he had 110 receiving yards against Minnesota.
yeah.
But and
Minnesota.
then he missed week 3 and then bounced back with 7. So I think he has a huge game, and I think he bonus. I'm not going
I'm
to put
with
this in the
that.
bet the house. I think it, but that is going to be a little bonus. So I'll put that on there. Best performance of the year from Debo against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think Debo is probably. I mean, you drafted him decently high, but he's still kind of the steal of the draft this year, I think, because I don't think Ayuk's going to get it figured out. I never thought Ayuk was that good of a wide receiver anyways. I just thought that he was in a really good situation. And the year that he actually broke out, there was no Debo, and Kittle was hurt most of the year. So I just think that things are balancing out for him.
Yeah, fair.
So I like Debo.
All right, run through it. Number 2.
All right, this pains me because I really thought this was the year for Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase takes a back seat to T. Higgins this game.
Ooh,
Yeah. And
but
so
why?
basically, I'm saying T. Higgins is going to perform better than Jamar Chase because they're playing Baltimore. And I actually checked last season. He had a total of 43 yards in both games versus Baltimore.
Ooh, spicy.
So
I didn't realize
yeah,
the Ravens
that's
had
a
his
bad
number.
total. Yeah, I didn't either. So I wanted to check because like that happens with divisional matchups, and they have his number significantly. He had 31 yards in one game, and 13.
Damn.
That adds up. Yeah,
Damn.
or 12 yards. Yeah.
Okay.
So
T. Higgins bet in the house on Mr. Higgins.
yeah,
All right. I mean, the numbers don't lie, so we'll see if it's plausible.
Nope.
All right. My number 2, bet the house that Stephon Diggs goes over 100 yards this week in a revenge game against the Bills.
I forgot this is revenge games.
Yes.
Although I think it's the Bills' revenge versus Stephon Diggs.
Oh, I don't care. I think he's going to go off. And especially if Tank misses this game too. He's day to day. If he happens to miss, buddy, Stephon Diggs is going to. They're wearing those
That's an
sweet
interesting take
H-Town
because my next one
uniforms.
is almost kind of combating that. But
Okay. But yeah. Have you seen those?
they're
sweet-
playing the H-Town?
Yeah.
I like those.
I know.
Dude, those and the Lions ones.
The ones on
And
Monday were sick.
finally, the Colts with their blacked out jerseys, those were sick too.
I know, and Denver wears their throwback ones this weekend
The
against the
throwbacks are
Raiders.
crazy too.
Yeah,
I like
so,
those too.
good week for
They're
jerseys.
sick in a different way, but they're still sick.
It's just like the colors are unmatched, like that powder blue with the orange and like the old school style with like the
It's just so
Denver D.
nostalgic.
That's what I'm saying.
Just
So,
remember seeing John Elway helicoptering into the end zone.
yeah, my boy, number 7. 7 more Super Bowls for Denver coming up. All right, so yeah, 100 yards for Diggs. Calling it, stamp it, putting that in a bet. 100-yard
All
prop.
right.
Last one.
So basically, I think Josh Allen's gonna. I think this is gonna be the highest scoring game of the week. That's not
Okay.
part of it, but that's just my thought. I think it's gonna be a really exciting game, and I think Keon Coleman's gonna have his breakout game.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Josh Allen is gonna have revenge on on Houston for taking his star wide receiver and say, you know what, I got one of my own, Keon Coleman, Keon County, baby.
Okay.
And so I think Keon has over 75 yards and a touchdown.
I want to believe it. I just
Last week looked good. He started to target him, and Keon was making some big catches.
don't know if he gets enough. They're not throwing the ball down the field a ton. So I don't know
I-
if he gets enough catches to get up to 75. Like he could have 5 catches, but is 5
Yeah.
catches for 75 yards, is that going to be enough to reach that mark? I don't know.
I
'Cause
think they will have to.
against the
The
Texans,
issue is like I think the Texans offense is good enough to where they're not going to be able to coast in this game. They've coasted in every game to where like last game they played the first quarter and then James Cook and whatever fat fuck, they just ran the ball the rest of the game because that's all they needed to do.
Yeah, fair.
And same the week before that. So I don't think that's the case. They're going to have to throw the ball and try to keep up with this Houston offense.
I mean, they did that this past week, trying to get back into the game against the Ravens, and he didn't make it. But trust me, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I just think it's a tall task. I don't think it's impossible. I just think he will
That's
have
sad,
to get
though.
more of a
It
target
is
share.
sad just because of like our hopes coming into the year
I know.
that you're saying that it's a tall task for him to have 75 yards.
I mean, look at what they
That's
do. What
crazy.
they're doing this year. This is I said it as our key takeaways episode to start the year after 2 weeks. I was like, this is the Buffalo Bills this year. Spread the ball around, move the ball,
Yeah, and I
run the
agree.
ball.
But I
So,
just think obviously when you have Josh Allen and you
Oh,
play
it's for sure
a team where
possible.
you need to score, I think.
fair.
Yeah.
All right, my last one. Bet the house that Jordan Addison outscores Justin Jefferson this week against the Jets. Primarily because
Okay, 'cause
Sauce
Sauce.
Gardner will be on Justin Jefferson. I think that he will for sure. It's not like he's going to get deleted from the game.
No, I
He's
think Sauce
impossible
is
to
going to get
deleted.
burned. But
But Addison was great. And coming off the injury, he had a rushing touchdown. He's involved. He scored twice. So
I really like Jordan Addison. I wish he hadn't gone to that team.
I
Or
know.
at least I wish Kirk had stayed there because
Right.
I think on another team he could be a superstar.
But even then,
seriously.
he was the wide receiver 3 last week. He was he had 72 yards and a touchdown through the air, and then he had a rush attempt for 7 yards and scored on the ground. And so
Yeah. Before Kirk got hurt last year, it was similar.
I know.
They had games where Jordan Addison was the guy.
So I'm just saying he has the ability to do it, and with Sauce Gardner probably shadowing Justin Jefferson, I'm fairly confident that Jordan Addison is taking that next step, or watching him take that next step, and Justin Jefferson has an okay game. He has an okay game.
Okay. I would never bet the house against Justin Jefferson, so I would not take that bet with you, but I like the bet.
All right, we'll see. I'm gonna.
We tried to bet the house against Justin Jefferson in the preseason, and that has not worked out so far.
No, it has not. Even last week, it was his lowest, or no, he had a middling performance of 85-1 last week. Dickhead.
And that's a breakout game for Keon Coleman.
I know. So
That's funny, actually.
that's it from us. That's it. We're betting the
Aw,
house.
man.
I know. But guess
I'm just
what?
kidding.
I've
I'm
got
so
good
ready to
news.
get out of here.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we will.
for the football game. We're gonna try and record, I believe, before the game, probably a little later,
Mm.
but record before the game. Maybe a quick reaction of the Thursday night game afterwards. And I think we're gonna be back with another parlay tomorrow.
Yeah,
I wanted to get
I was
back
thinking
with
the
that.
same.
So
Same here.
another fun show. I had a great time.
Yeah, I'm excited because we didn't get to do that show last week,
I know.
and that might be my favorite show.
For sure,
So,
for sure. So that's it from us. Your boys with Last Call Fantasy Football. Subscribe, like the video.
subscribe.
If you've watched
Let's get
If you've
it.
watched all 55 minutes of this so far, we appreciate you. All of our friends and family, we appreciate you.
I was really hoping you'd end it after this. Get it?
Oh. Well, guess what? You can do it again. Deuces.
Let's get it.